Welcome to the PTTS. My name is Nang Hong Lam. The date is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. The 22nd anniversary of my trading card game Pioneer/Work. Today I'm going to make a speech on the article I wrote, titled it as February 22nd, 2022. After the February 22nd, 2022 speech, you may stay for the following. Number 1. My trading card game Pioneer/Work, February 22nd, 2022 story. Number 2. About my table strategy sim status, February 22nd, 2022 story. Number 3. My MGM development, February 22nd, 2022 progress summarization. A. The 3 MGM development progress periods. B. MGM story. C. Exclusive MCM/MFM preview, including the MCM/MFM briefed UMF stories history. Number 4. About Millennium Gem Metropolis, MGM. A. Box cover description. B. MGM functions and features, including TCG, TSS, and chess references. C. And so on. Number 5. Orientations to be part of the MGM development team. A. Employment applications paper form. B. PTTS company disclaimer and MGM disclaimer. C. PTTS company and MGM development business card. D. PTTS company and MGM development badge. Number 1 and number 2 is the most recent stories. Example, I have wrote around 2,000 pages on number 1, my trading card game Pioneer/Work. I have wrote many articles on number 2 about my table strategy sim status. Constitutions of United States' pledge. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish these constitutions for the United States of America. Acknowledgement. To acknowledge February 22nd, 2022 is a day in our calendar where there are a total of 6 Tuesdays. Because of this acknowledgement, I would make a pledge to the future and the welfare of our country, including the fate of 2 worlds. For the sake of my billion of matches and arguments, 2 is vice, 2 is behind 1. First place is better than second place. 2 in the 12 lunar calendar horoscope animals is ox. 2 in the 12 zodiac symbols is Taurus. The saying, the ox is hard-working without questioning. As a result, it's difficult to educate the ox. Prayers. Sympathy. I cried it out loud for some minutes of time before I wrote this article, February 22nd, 2022. Make up. Like I confessed it in MGM Nonfiction and Fiction Chapter 8. I felt like the whole nations hosted a celebration in the Royal Palace for me is not enough to make up for what I'm going through right now. Voting system, like I confessed it in MGM Nonfiction and Fiction Chapter 28. A lot of my confessions and my articles are because of my guilt/conscience for not being part of the voting system. Public speaking. I have made many video recording of myself speaking in front of the camera. Many of those videos I don't read from written papers, but I felt there are rooms for improvement on my public speaking. This article is equivalent to my speech about my schedule update, including my state of affairs. Example, a declarations to my surrounding about my situations. Also, because of this date, with 6 twos and 2 is vice is equivalent to I would use this opportunity to take steps toward a leap into the bold and the brave future. Example, the awareness of this day would make an exception to the risks in this article. If ignoring the fact that I'm not part of the voting system, example, I have wrote my reasons for not being part of the voting system in my confessions and my articles, then like many U.S. citizens, I see the leader of the USA, the president of the USA, is a role model that the whole nations look up to. As the leaders of the country, those leaders would attend the live concerts. Those leaders being in those live concerts would be like the hopes to those live concerts. As for my current situations, I watched it. Charlotte Church concert every night on the television. Besides Charlotte Church, the following songs are memorable. Susan Calloway answers, and Lisa Miskowski, I'm Still Alive. Our country leaders attended those live concerts to give hopes. As for my current situation, I watched it and listened to those songs for escape and denial. The saying, the day of judgment is a total devastation. In a total devastation world, all roads lead to hell. No one is safe. Even though this article is an exception to a leap into a bold and brave future, but rushing into judgment could lead to the day of judgment. About trading card game. My status highlights before my trading card game pioneer/work. Protections. My top student standard and my student service leader standard. Cover-ups. Agriculture. Started school late. Lively activities and underground activities. I would argue that I put most of my scheduled time on my trading card game pioneer/work from January 1999 up until current February 22nd, 2022. So I would be exceeding in the trading card game, but the trade-off / compromise is I have to deal with arguments on not having a balanced schedule. The following are a list of the trading card game titles. Number 1, the 4 main trading card game titles that are in my P-Sketch: Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Versus System, and Magic the Gathering. Number 2, the acclaimed international titles: Lord of the Ring, Star Wars, War of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, and Universal Fighting System. Number 3, a huge list of the trading card game titles. I would argue that to master all of the trading card game titles from number 1 to number 3 to its fullest would take more than a lifetime. The following arguments are inside of the trading card game circle: a huge list argument, shelf life argument, league argument, Hall of Fame and database computer system argument. I have posted my P-Sketch online on my website tratctt.tumblr.com from April 2017 to January 2019. P-Sketch is like a magazine format. A brief summarization is: see each of my P-Sketch have approximations of 100 pages of my articles and approximations of 10 pages of illustration. I illustrated most of the illustration. The last time I checked it, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have around 60 sets. Each Pokemon set are 60 to 100 new cards. Each Yu-Gi-Oh! Set are 60 to 100 new cards. Magic the Gathering MTG have over 100 sets. Each MTG set are 100 to 300 new cards. The argument inside the circle and self-life arguments would lead to the following: short-term, long-term. For the sake of the following, number 1, with 22 years of my trading card game pioneer / work, including my 199 first places, I see the trading card game with true sight. Number 2, I'm sick of having to write another 2,000 pages over something that haven't been declared as accepted, official, and traditions. I would put my focus on the trading card game long term. Also, I would avoid complication of the problems. I have came upon trading card game events that focus on commercial, temporary affection, and being with the program. I would argue that is not the trading card game circle. So I would want to be on the same page with the curators / pioneers